Have a quorum plus one. First item is approval of the agenda. It's a pretty short agenda. I move approval.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is mayor's report. I don't think I have anything to report today. Do you have anything?
No.
Next is citizens forum.
No, sir.
Next is approval of minutes. We've got two of them. Regular meeting of August 11th and the special called meeting of August 18th.
I make a motion we approve the minutes of August 11th and 18th.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I need to abstain from the 11th, and I'll say aye on the 18th. How about that?
Just the 11th, right?
Yeah, the 11th I was gone.
Okay. Next item is ordinances, and this is one ordinance to consider second reading. Ordinance 11-13, a map of correction, map amendment to parcel 37, tax map 131, located in the northeast corner of Kingston Pike and Lovell Road, the site of future Costco warehouse from B1 to C1 to reduce the B1 buffer to 50 feet in width adjacent to the Powell Acres subdivision. This is second reading, so we've already seen this. We saw it during the special called meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is business items. First is consider approval of contract 2012-05 resurfacing.
Yes, throughout the year, the engineering staff maintains a list of our priorities regarding resurfacing. We maintain a list of streets that we identify as our main priorities. As it comes time to bid our annual resurfacing contract, we take a very close look at that list and pare it down to something that is within our budget. This year we've identified several streets. I'll read those off. Aspenwood Drive in the Sugarwood subdivision, Walden View Lane in Ridgeland subdivision, Hickory Trail in Ridgeland, Admiral Drive in Farragut View, Augusta National Way in Foxdan, Royal Birkdale in Foxdan, Heron Road from North Campbell Station Road to Ivy Chase, Campbell Lakes Drive from North Campbell Station to Lake's Edge, and Dixie View Road in Country Manor. And these are the streets that were included in our contract. Typically what we'll do is bid based on the quantities that we estimate will be used for this list of priorities. And if our bids come in below our budget amount, we'll name alternate streets that as long as our budget can stand it, we will add those to our list. Now, we've identified 4 alternate streets that we think we can do this year and still remain within our $500,000 budget. Those streets are Fruitwood Lane and Burr Oak Circle in Sugarwood, and Axton Drive and Burgess Drive in Country Manor. On August 16th, excuse me, on August 16th we received 4 bids for this contract. Duracap Asphalt bid $645,432.85. Rogers Group Incorporated bid $467,059.06. Greenback Asphalt Company bid $421,211 even, and APAC Atlantic bid $409,313.50. Like I said, with a $500,000 budget and a low bid amount from APAC Atlantic, we do want to add the alternate streets. And I did attach the bid tabulations in your packet. Staff recommends award of contract 2012-05 to APAC Atlantic Incorporated for their low bid of $409,313.50.
Now, they are the incumbent, right?
The incumbent?
meaning that we used them this year?
We used Greenback last year.
Oh, really?
Have we used this company before?
Oh, yes, APAC has done our resurfacing several years. They were once Renfro Construction, and they had done it for many years at that time. So it's the same people. So we're very pleased with this bid and recommend award of the contract.
Just curious, total length in miles, can you have an idea?
I was afraid I was going to be asked that. I thought about it a while ago. It's the one bit of information I didn't put in this memo. I want to say that's about 4 to 4.5 miles.
Got to figure that's what an engineer is going to ask.
I should have known.
Darrell, I've got a question for you. The alternate streets, were they scheduled for next year, or were they?
We look at this on a year-by-year basis. We figured if we couldn't get them in this year, then they will probably be next year. But different streets age at different rates. Next year, we'll look at it completely. We'll look at it again, and it's most likely, if these are not included this year, then they will be in next year's budget.
Well, I guess that's my question. If we're approximately 100,000 under budget, do we need to spend it, or could we save that money, and will these streets be okay for another year, which means we'll have savings to go forward next year?
We could do that. I will say that the funding for our resurfacing comes out of our state street aid. It's not out of our capital funds. That's money that's distributed to all the municipalities out of the state fuel taxes. Yes, if we don't spend it this year, it will stay in our account until next year.
Was there any real benefit to resurfacing these streets this year? I mean, are they apparently they didn't make the cut for this year unless we had extra funds. So
looking at them, and we all have in engineering, they're very close to the same condition as the others. My recommendation would be to go ahead and add them, but that's really your call.
okay, but if I understand correctly, this isn't some. It's not in our capital investment fund that we could use for something else if we don't spend
It can only be used for maintenance of streets, guardrail, striping, and signals.
Okay, well, I don't have any more questions, and thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, it would probably be a little different if it could be used for any of our capital projects or anything like that.
Thank you.
Just a point of clarity for me then, if, with what we're going to vote on, are we voting for the 500,000, or are we voting just on the contract?
We vote on the contract because it is a unit price contract. We can add streets, and that is spelled out in the contract.
Okay.
They're paid for on the unit price bid.
I'm with you. So we don't need to come back and vote on these alternates later?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And we will keep it under our $500,000 budgeted.
Then I'll approve contract 2012-05, resurfacing the streets that are mentioned in the contract.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Next item is another contract. This is for McPhee Park irrigation.
Good evening. We have been keeping an eye on McPhee Park, and we built Phase 1 and Phase 2 the last few years, and we just cannot get a good stand of grass out there. We get it going, and then it gets burned up, and we're trying to make the park look attractive. And we have a picture of the park, the condition of the grass right now that's out there, and you can see this is the upper section of Phase 2. Now, they will be coming back in to oversee this in the fall, but we're just afraid the same thing's going to happen that happened in phase one, that it's just going to dry up. We're going to have to get something to make this park a lot more attractive than what it's turning out. It looks like a desert out there right now. So what we did was we went and bid out irrigation for phase one. For phase two is 2 different bids, and then we combined them and asked for a third bid to do the full irrigation of both phases. And the bids that came in, we had 3 different bidders that bid on this. The first one was Little Green Garden at $34,083.84 for the combined bid. The second one was Rainscapes at $52,970 combined bid, and the third one was First Place Finish at $122,315. The low bid of Little Green Garden is below our projected budget number for this project by a pretty good amount, and we would like to, install this irrigation system, and so asking you all tonight to approve the bid for the low bid for Little Green Garden, $34,083.84.
Questions?
I have none.
Motion.
Motion to approve the contract for Little Green Gardens.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Next item. Consider approval of bid for 2012 two-wheel drive half-ton pickup truck.
That's a mouthful. This is a replacement vehicle. We have an 03 in our fleet right now that's been heavily used. And it's just, mechanically it's doing okay. Visually it's in really, really bad shape. Considering where it's at right now, we're a little bit worried about the maintenance. Some things are starting to show up on it. And so we decided that we'd bid this one out this year. And what we did was we asked for a replacement bid for this one. It's a 2012 half-ton truck. And we bid this out as a 6-foot bed or 6.5-foot bed, and also an alternate bid for an 8-foot bed. We didn't know whether we could get it because this is real early in their year model, and that's why we bid it out 2 times so we didn't have to do it again if they came back and said they couldn't. But one of the vendors came in and said that they could supply the 8-foot bed. And we received 2 bids on this truck. The first one was from Country Ford for $21,691.25 for the 6-foot bed. And then their second bid was a $22,874.25 for the 8-foot bed. The other bid came from Sammy Sworn Auto Group, and it was for a 6.5-foot bed at $21,636.15. He could not get us an 8-foot bed truck, and we really would like to have the 8-foot bed just for the sole reason that we can haul stuff more in the bed, longer stuff in the bed, and also they haul a lot of mulch with these trucks and brush and things like that. We can save trips back and forth to the shop to load and reload if we have the larger bed truck. But staff would like to ask for your approval for the truck from Country Ford with the 8-foot bed, the alternate bid at $22,874.25.
But I have a question. It's just a little bit off the beaten path here. I think why are we buying half-ton trucks for this? There's so much lighter hardware all around than a 3/4 ton.
We do have some 3/4 tons in our fleet. Some of those are 4-wheel drive, and the reason we get those is for the snowplow usage.